How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So in this video, we're going to be doing an overall market update, taking a look at the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq. We're also going to be doing a trading update, talking about what I personally did today in the stock market, as well as some stocks and ETFs that I'm watching and looking to trade right now in the beginning of February, heading into the middle of February here in 2020. And before we get into the video, all I ask from you is if you enjoy the video and find value in it, simply go down below for me and hit that like button. And also consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see further content for me and if you want to be further connected with the Strive Smart community here, the wonderful community we've built. That Discord link is down below in the description box, as well as the Facebook group, and you can actually get 2 free stocks using my affiliate link with Webull, valued up to $1,400 with a deposit of $100. And all of those, again, are linked down below in the description box. So let's get into it right now, starting off with the S&P 500. And what do you know, guys? We hit an all-time high today at $3,347.96. And like I said, it's like the coronavirus never happened. These markets, they've rebounded very aggressively, and we're back at all-time highs yet again. It's like nothing ever happened. And based on this 4-hour chart, we're arguably getting to levels of overbought territory for the S&P, especially if we have another green day tomorrow where maybe we hit another all-time high. This RSI might get up to, let's say, the 70 range, anything above 70 being overbought, and that could be a bit worrisome because from there, we may just get a pullback, which is natural whenever something is running up for multiple days in a row. So that really depends on what ends up happening in tomorrow's session, and we'll see from there whether or not we're going to get that pull down or whether or not we're going to hit that all-time high. So overall today, up $11, up 0.3%, and again, hitting that all-time high on the S&P 500. Going over to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, we hit an all-time high on this as well, $29,408.05, up $88 on the day, roughly the same as the S&P, up roughly 0.3%. So S&P, Dow Jones, all-time high. And before we get to the Nasdaq, we got some news today about China and the U.S. trade war. China said it would cut tariffs in half on $75 billion of U.S. imports as part of plans to implement the recent trade agreement with Washington from February 14th. The tariffs were imposed in September and December, and or rather in the midst of a heated dispute between the world's 2 largest economies. So that's a pretty good sign, although it's not something that's all over the media, I feel like. I'm not too sure if that had an impact on the markets today. Probably not, but the fact that they are cutting some tariffs, that's a good step here. That's a good thing, in my personal opinion, to diffuse this trade war between the USA and China. So let's go over here to the Nasdaq, and in terms of the coronavirus in general, I was looking online, couldn't find specific numbers, but for my guess right now, the total infected people has to be in the 30,000s, and deaths have to be around 570 to around 630. That's kind of what I would predict here based on kind of the rate it's been increasing every single day. Yesterday, we had about 28,000 people affected in China when I was recording the video, roughly 560 deaths. So one could only guess it probably increased a couple thousand overnight in terms of infected people, and maybe 30, 40, 50, 60 in terms of deaths overnight. That's kind of my guess here. So the Nasdaq today did very well compared to the S&P and the Dow Jones. Up $71 right now. That does include some gains here after hours since these are the futures, but nonetheless, they're up 0.77% as of this recording, and they're gunning for all-time highs, guys. All-time highs on the Nasdaq were hit on the 5th of February. That was what? Yesterday? Yes, that was yesterday. My mind's going crazy, guys. 5th of December was yesterday. We hit an all-time high, and here after hours, we may hit an all-time high, whether we get 9-10 points. If we get 9-10 points to the green here, that would be an all-time high on these Nasdaq futures. So overall, one thing in common here is they've all hit all-time highs. We're getting overextended, not extremely overextended, but we're potentially getting to overextended territory, overbought territory here on the major markets. So maybe we see a cool off, a little pull down here, maybe tomorrow, maybe not tomorrow, but maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday. Only one can wait, or rather, one can only wait to see what does end up happening. So let me know down below in the comments, guys, what are your thoughts on the markets in general? Do we just continue roaring up, or do you agree with me that we might see a little bit of a cool-off period here now that stocks are yet again at all-time highs? I'd love to know your thoughts down below on that. Now, to talk about what I did today, quite honestly, guys, it was a pretty quiet day for me. If you all remember yesterday's video, I talked about how I bought a little bit of Microsoft. Nothing too crazy. And the thing ran up on me today so much I wasn't able to add any more to the position. I could have, but I just didn't add any more to the position, just being quite honest. So I ended up just selling out of my little position that I took yesterday. And if you guys weren't paying attention to yesterday's video, I got in, I believe right around here it was, at around like 179, 30, 40, roughly that area. And I ended up just selling out today in the 183s. I believe once we eclipsed 183, I ended up selling out. And the truth is, I wasn't able to build this into a bigger swing trade like I wanted to. So I just took the little gains that I had, quick, in and out, and now I'm just going to wait and see whether or not Microsoft does end up seeing some sort of pull down. I'd love that because Microsoft it's just been on fire. We've been talking about it on the channel a lot, but now it's arguably getting to those levels where, not that it looks like Tesla's chart, but it's getting to those levels that it's getting to some a level of euphoria at this point, in my opinion, with Microsoft. Let's say we push 190s, maybe 195. I think that's overheated in the short term. I think eventually we'd need to see a pull down into the 170s again, maybe lower 170s, and anything here, especially if we got something in the 160s, guys, that would be a dream come true. If we got 160s for Microsoft, I'd be loading the boat up on it. Probably in both my swing and my long-term account, to be completely honest. But we'll have to wait and see what does end up happening. So overall, guys, that's really all I did. I was tempted to take a position in a stock we'll talk about here in a couple of minutes. Like you all read in the title, I almost bought that stock. But Facebook, oh my God, FB February, that's what came in my head. My mind is boggled today, guys. I don't know what's going on. But Facebook is another one that I'm in, and this is one that I'm just holding. This is a swing trade that I actually got in after this earnings report. I thought the reaction to the earnings report was overblown, so I took that as a buying opportunity, and that's paying off pretty well for me, especially because I bought in at around 207 initially, bought a little bit more down here, so my average cost is around 205, 206, and I might add even more if we do show a break above these moving averages here on the 4-hour chart in either tomorrow's session or maybe even in next week's session. So that's kind of what I'm doing now, guys. Facebook, I'm in. And really, that's the only swing that I'm really in at this point. If I'm remembering correctly, I've been just cashing out, and you guys know this. I've been cashing out a lot of profits left and right. You know, Uber, Netflix, Square the first time around, right? And that's kind of what I'm doing. Market's all-time high. I'm sitting on cash. I'm waiting actually for the next opportunity to show itself. So let me know down below in the comments, what are your thoughts on that? What are you doing in terms of your trades? I'd love to know. Now, I have some stocks to talk about with you all. 2 electric vehicle makers. You guys know these two. Tesla being the first one. What a day yet again for Tesla. Not that it did incredible in terms of its closing price, but if you guys saw the roller coaster it was today, a lot of money was made. I didn't trade Tesla today. Honestly, I chickened out, kind of just wanted to see what it would do from the sidelines, to be honest. But again, a lot of money was made. This thing actually sold off all the way to 680, and this is actually a level that we were talking about in the Discord chat earlier and yesterday, and we talked about it a little bit in the video, I believe, yesterday as well, the general 600, 650 area, and it ended up bottoming at about 680 here, which you guys can see on the 2-hour chart, or the 1-hour chart rather. That puts it right above the 180 SMA. So it makes sense from a technical perspective that Tesla did hold this level. Now, the thing is, it's fighting that 50 SMA, and it actually got rejected, which worries me a bit. But the fact that we're still, holding this little uptrend in the short term, based on the closing price today and the fact that we closed above moving averages, this means that we might see another rally in Tesla, right? We may see another rally here. This could be a temporary bottom just strictly based off these technicals, guys. Just take a look at this. Moving averages were resistances. Since that peak at 970, we sold off to about 680. Now we saw that massive push. A lot of money was made from 690 to about 790. Wow, that's a day trade right there, guys. What a day trade of 11% from top to bottom. And that pushed us again above these moving averages. So Tesla, definitely worth watching here. Am I gung-ho about buying Tesla shares now? Truth is, no, I'm not gung-ho about buying them here. I'm still a bit skeptical. I still think we could sell off to 600, but I wouldn't be surprised if this were to take off to 850, 900. So for me at this point, I'm simply just watching on the sidelines. What do you guys think about that? Let me know down below in the comments. NIO is the next one here that took a bit of a hit today. 31 cents in the red, down 7.06%. And this is almost looking like a head and shoulder on NIO here, but at the same time, it's making a higher low and holding that 180 SMA support on the 4-hour chart. We're pulling down. We're still technically in the uptrend. So for me at this point, NIO is still in an uptrend, right? But if we were to break down that 180 SMA, break down below that, and maybe get down to, let's say, the $3 range again, $3.50, $3.70, that would be a bit worrisome for me, as a long-term shareholder for NIO, at least from just a technical basis here, right? And honestly, I'm not too worried, because if it were to dip, maybe I would buy more shares down here, because again, this is my spec stock. New viewers out there that don't know, I've been buying this stock for, I don't even know, about 8 months at this point. Started buying at $5, bought a lot at $2, and bought a little bit on the way back up. So if it were to dump again, I'd probably just buy a little bit more as my overall portfolio grows. I can't just leave my spec stocks down there without adding a little bit more money into them. So naturally, as my portfolio would grow, I'd just maybe buy a couple more shares and continue building up the spec position, right? So NIO, that's ticker symbol NIO. NVIDIA is an interesting one here. NVIDIA, they're reporting earnings. Let me double check. I think on the 12th? The 13th. The 13th of this month, and their estimated EPS is $1.66, with estimated revenue being roughly almost $3 billion, $2.96 billion to be exact. And I got that information from Yahoo Finance. If you guys want to see, any type of financial information, just go to Yahoo Finance. Go to one of these free websites. That's the app I use every single day, and I've been using it for years to just look at basic information. You can go on the analysis tab on Yahoo Finance, type in any ticker symbol, and it shows you what analysts are expecting average for EPS revenue on the low end, on the high end, and a bunch of other metrics, right? So that's what NVIDIA is expecting, and on a technical basis here, we're fighting 260, guys. I think we might have tested it today, maybe. Let me double check. No, we didn't, but we're definitely going to test it tomorrow by the looks of it, and 260, as you guys can clearly see by the chart, is that resistance from back on the 24th of January. So I think if we break 260, this could be a nice move up to maybe 270. Coupled with a positive earnings report, this thing could be poised to explode, guys. And if we look at longer-term charts on NVIDIA, this stock was once almost $300. So think about it. Good earnings report, technical break. We maybe could get 260 or to 260 to 270, then maybe up to $280 per share. We're just going to have to see what ends up happening there. So the next one, we haven't talked about this one in a while, is Shopify, guys. Ticker symbol SHOP. And this one, it's showing a nice pull down. Margin of profit open from $495 down to where we are now, $472. And the uptrend in general on this hourly chart is holding. The 180 SMA is holding. Higher low from the previous, right, at 470. Previous is about 460. So everything is looking intact. Just like NVIDIA, they're reporting earnings upcoming as well. They're on the 12th. They're on the 12th of February, and their estimated EPS is 24 cents, with revenue estimated at $482 million. I bet you thought I was going to say billion. If it was billion, they'd be the biggest company in the world, guys. They're $482 million for this quarter. And guys, this could be a move setting up maybe even before the earnings, right? So I might trade. This could even be a day trade tomorrow, depending on whether we spike up. So we're going to see what happens here with Shopify. The next one I'm looking at is Starbucks, ticker symbol SBUX, not necessarily because it's an attractive technical pattern. To be honest, it's not at all. But the fact that it's just been battered down recently. China, they've closed many locations there. I forget how long they've closed them for, but they did shut down, I believe, half of the Starbucks locations over there in China. And that's why we've been seeing, and quite honestly, their earnings report as well, just this steep decline in the stock over the past two and a half weeks, right? From about $93 all the way down to almost $84, which is a $10 haircut. So for Starbucks, I'm definitely watching it as it's approaching, let's say, $84, $85 due to that being a support. Another one being at around $82, $83. So it's just definitely worth watching. Again, not an attractive technical pattern quite yet, but that doesn't mean it's not going to potentially form into an attractive pattern here over the next couple of trading days. So Uber, guys, let's talk about Uber, because last time I checked, they were going crazy. Now this is a live reaction to see how they're going right now. Holy smokes, guys. Take a look at that. Uber's at $40. No way. Oh my goodness, guys. Take a look at this. So, yeah, if I were to hold my Uber shares from yesterday in situations like this, I would have made a lot of money. But it could go the other way, guys. That's the thing. It can go the other way. Believe me. That's why I don't hold through earnings. And I've always mentioned on these videos, I leave money on the table. It's okay. I like conserving capital. That's the goal of trading, guys. You have to understand that. It's all about risk management and controlling and maintaining, quite frankly, that capital. So Uber Q4 EPS came in at negative 64 cents. So they lost money, 64 cents per share. And that was actually a beat compared to the 68 cents they were supposed to lose based on analyst estimates. And the revenue was insane. The revenue came in at $6.069 billion versus $4.06 billion. Look at this thing go, guys. Closed at $37. Oh, wow. That's up 10% since the close of the market. Woo! If you guys are in Uber, comment down below right now. Congrats. You made some nice money. especially if you're swing trading it. You made some pretty nice money right now. So that's something to watch here, guys. I didn't dive in too deep into their earnings. I know they've lost, I think they lost like $1 billion, or they were supposed to lose about $1.2 billion this quarter, totaling their total loss to about $8.7 billion in the past year, something like that. I was doing research earlier. I was looking into it earlier, but this is insane. Definitely going to jump deeper into Uber myself later, and I'm sure many of you guys are going to do that as well. So SQ, this is that stock that I was really itching to buy today, almost bought today due to this pull down and the nice hold above $78, which we've talked about as a support, but I did not pull the trigger, guys. I did not pull the trigger here on ticker symbol SQ because it didn't show any momentum to the upside, quite frankly, right? It's showing a nice support at around $78, but we're not seeing this breakout quite yet. We're still seeing on the 5-day, 5-minute resistance under that 180 SMA. So for me to be very confident in taking a position, I'd need to see something like that, a pop into at least, I'd say, $79 and maybe $79.50, and that's where I'd consider it. So Microsoft, we already talked about that. Want to sell off down to about 170, 175, 160 would be a dream come true. Probably won't get that, but I can dream, right, guys? The next one is Google, ticker symbol GOOG. This one was actually doing quite well today, up 1.93%. This is probably a big reason why the Nasdaq did well today. As well as, let's see what Apple did for fun here. Let's go down and see what Apple did. Apple was up $3.76. Did they hit an all-time high today? No way. Oh my God, you gotta love it, guys. Apple hit an all-time high today. Oh, nope, they're about $1 short. Never mind, $2 short. So Google, they're actually on their way to their all-time highs at about 1,500, 1,520. So this pattern looks like it's continuing. Might pick up some Google shares tomorrow. We'll see what ends up happening. So that's pretty much it for this video. A bunch of stocks that I'm watching. I'm telling you guys, keep an eye on Shopify, Square. I think those are pretty good right now. We'll see what their earnings are. Square has earnings here coming up as well. Watch Uber tomorrow. Very, very volatile with this earnings report coming out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Hit that like button. If you did, consider subscribing if you want to see further content for me. And again, don't be shy. Drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And don't forget to claim your 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400. That link is down below with Webull. If you just put $100 into the account, guys, that's it. You get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400. No strings attached. Go get your stocks. I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks again for watching. As always, peace out. How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back.